Good evening, everybody. Welcome, 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 one and all. As you can see, sliding right across the bottom there. We are home of Build a Quilt's Patchwork in the Hoop. Hang on, I got to turn some volume down on my phone so I can see messages. So I had to turn that down. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. I am so happy to be with you all this evening because tonight we're all about celebration. But for those of you that don't know, Build a Quilt is all about making patchwork with your embroidery machine. All the patchwork you see here, all made with your embroidery machine. It's not embroidery made to look like patchwork quilting. It's actual patchwork quilting. And it's all done with a 5x7 hoop. You can always do it with a larger, but you just need a 5x7 hoop to do it. And tonight we are celebrating Build a Quilt and all of you because you guys are incredible. And you have helped to build this community. The last time I looked today, we were just a skosh. Do you know what a skosh is? I think it's like this much from being at 519,000 subscribers. And I'm just here to celebrate us reaching 500,000. It's incredible. I just can't get over it every time I see that. Hello, Ruth from Lake Stevens, Washington. Beautiful out there, I hope today, Ruth. At this time of year, I know it can be kind of iffy out there. It can be kind of drizzly and a little bit windy out there for sure. But if you are with us, if you're in the chat, please type in and say hello. Tell us where you're from. And I'm just going to tell you right now, you need to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a crayon or whatever you want, because we're playing Build a Quilt Trivia tonight, and I have some great prizes to give away at the end for there will be 3 places, a first, second, and third place winner. So get those ready, okay? Because that's coming. And we have a question of the week, and I have a prize for that too. So tonight's just all about games and prizes and celebrating. Hello, T. Hello, our good friend T from South Carolina. I hope you're drying out there, honey. I know you guys have been going through so much, but I hope you're drying out, and I hope maybe you have your power back by now. Fingers crossed. Hello, Sharon from chilly Southern Illinois. You know what, Sharon? It's been really cold here too, and I'm loving it. Can you tell? I've got a sweater on tonight. I'm such a fall winter girl, and I will tell you, I've been a little snarky a little bit with the weather these past couple weeks because it's been in October and we've been having 80 degrees, but it was in the 50s today. In fact, it was in the 30s overnight. When I went running this morning, 31 degrees. So I did half my run, got back home, and did an inside run for the last half because I usually don't go out to run under 40 degrees. It's just too cold. I have run at 23 degrees before, and I will say that was a bad idea. So Ruth, you're saying it's cloudy and rainy out in Lake Stevens. That's kind of October. So I understand what that's like for sure. You hate cold weather. You're a Texas girl. Oh, Sharon, I'm so sorry. I have family from Texas. My grandfather lived down in Brownsville for years. He's passed now, but we have family and friends and all in Texas. And I know if you love that warm weather, they love living in Texas. That's one of the big reasons is for the great weather. So, but I'm ready. Now we're going back into the 70s over the weekend and into next week, and then maybe back into the 60s. But doggone it, I am ready for sweater weather. I just am. Sharon, Ruth, you're also a Texas girl, born and raised. Very cool. We just have some of our dearest friends in the world that are like family that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have family, like I said, in Texas. We have other friends in Texas, so we have a big community in Texas. I've never lived there, but I've stayed there and visited there and stayed in my grandpa's ranch there a lot. So Texas is a beautiful state. So I understand why you guys would not want to be in Illinois right now, because this is not your weather. It's my weather though, and I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled. Although I will tell you, when Dave and I moved back here from Washington State, I was so excited thinking I was going to get snow again, like real snow. We have gotten like 2 6-inch or above snows in 15 years. It just disgusts me. I'm just telling you, it just disgusts me. No, I need my snow. So I told Dave, I said, maybe we need to move to Canada just so I can get snow just for a little while. Anyway, so that is our evening tonight is all about celebrating. I'm going to show you the new block. Now, I know I know a lot of you already have the new free celebration block because I put in an inventory of 100 pattern sets when I let it go live at around lunchtime, and by 2:00 I was having to do another 100, and now I think I'm back down to like 12 patterns in there. If during tonight's live, if you'd go to get it and it's out, I'll redo the inventory again at the end. Okay. So just check back if that's the case. Cause I can't go in and do it while we're live. But I've already uploaded a lot of them. And so I know you guys like them. I know a lot of you have seen it and all, but we'll talk about it a little bit tonight. I've got a couple of memes for us to start out with. We're going to do the celebration block, and then we have one killer trivia game. And it's not all hard and it's not all easy. So there's a nice mixture. So there's lots of points to be had. We'll go through all the questions and then we'll go through all the answers. So there will be lots of points to be had. And then we have a question of the week, all of that. But if you're just joining us, please in the comments, say hello, tell us where you're from, tell us what kind of weather you're having if you want to. I always seem to start out the day with the weather, don't I? I'm a weather kind of person. I never realized that before, but I really do kind of follow the weather. So, oh well. Ready for the first meme, guys? Here we go. Fabric hoarder? No. I am the curator of an extensive private textile collection. I couldn't remember if I had showed this one before, but I thought it was darling because, again, I'm totally into this Princess and the Pea thing right now. And here's our little girl, and she's sitting on a top of fabric. And it just reminds me of the Princess and the Pea, but I saw that and I thought, no, it's exactly what I am. I'm a curator of an extensive private textile collection. And you guys know that I have been redoing the studio, and you might be interested to know how I paid for some of that. You guys know that there's a certain designer, and I'm not going to say her name because it's one of the trivia questions. I buy her fabric, the designer's fabric, could be a guy, we don't know, by the bolt. And I've saved it over the years. And occasionally, if I wanted to redo the room, get a new machine, I promised Dave when I became a machine embroiderer, long before I started doing Build-A-Quilt, that I would not take out a loan for anything, right? That this hobby, because it can be, you all know, it can be a little, you have to give some of the stuff a little bit of a thought sometimes before we purchase, right? A considered purchase, that's how we'll put it. So I told him I would not take out any loans, and I have not. But I sell some of my bolts of fabric there is a place for business folks that we do like an auction kind of thing. And so I've sold some of my bolts that I could spare, because I can't spare much of it, but I don't want it to go to waste. If somebody else loves it, then they're welcome to it. But that's how I raise money to kind of redo the room. Hi, Donna Hall. How are you, my dear? You are from Newport Richey, Florida. New subscriber. Welcome to the Build-A-Quilt community. We are thrilled beyond thrilled to have you. And you're here on the right night because we are celebrating all of our subscribers tonight. River is going down, and it is not, I think you mean nice to have some dry days. I bet. My aunt and uncle live in Florida, and I have a ton of friends. I have a friend that lives in the Keys. I'm always worried about her and her husband, but my aunt and uncle got hit by Milton a little bit where they live. Nice to say, yeah, I gotcha. Debbie, Helen, I know you guys you keep getting them one after another. I know it's crazy. You know, my husband Dave and I lived down in Pensacola for 3-ish plus years when he was in flight school for the Navy years ago, back in the years ago. And we had two hurricanes while we were there, but they were level 1 hurricanes, which doesn't mean they weren't nothing. We got some pretty bad flooding and we got some pretty bad wind, and all the guys had to fly the planes out like before it hit. So me and the ladies on our block on base, we were all like up on the second floor of our townhomes on base, our town apartments where we lived, trying to stay dry because it was a gully washer. But we're thrilled to have you, Donna. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, everybody, make sure you get a paper and pencil or pen tonight for the trivia, okay? So glad to have a new subscriber. All of you that are here normally, say hello, welcome. I know you guys will do that. I don't need to tell you, but we have the friendliest folks, Donna. So if you start getting people chiming you with hellos and all, they're just being their normal, very, very kind and wonderful selves. Okay, I've got one more meme to show you tonight. And again, I couldn't remember. I don't think I've showed you this specific one, but I think I've shown you one like it. Fabricologist, one who has perfected the art of collecting fabric. Well, now I can say that I'm a fabricologist. How about you? How about you guys? Are you a fabricologist? I sure am. Donna, you're a new quilter too. Well, bless your heart. I think that's wonderful. We're never too young and never too old to start having fun with this beautiful art form. I've been quilting for over 55 years, and I've loved doing it by hand and by machine. And now with Build-A-Quilt and our embroidery machines, I love quilting, and I'm always thrilled when someone new joins us. So Donna, if you ever have any questions, I'll be giving my email and stuff at the end before we close. Write it down, because if you have questions, please contact me. I'm always more than happy to chat with you online. Maybe if you need a little Zoom call, we can do that. I don't charge for any of that at all. I just want to make sure that you're getting the assistance and the help that you need so that you will love doing your quilting, because it really is a beautiful hobby, art form, however you want to describe it. Oh, you're so welcome. All righty. So who is a fabricologist? Raise your hand. I can see you with my special glasses. I know you all are, because quilters, that's kind of, fabricologist actually equals the word quilter, does it not? We can't help it. I don't think it's our fault. I think designers put out all this beautiful fabric. And I mean, what are we supposed to do? Not like it? I mean, seriously, right? It's beautiful stuff. All righty, everybody. So are you ready? We're going to start the trivia. We might not go the full hour tonight, but we might. Okay. I know we went over last week, and thank you all so much for your patience. That batting, session was a long one, but you guys really must have enjoyed it, because I've gotten lots of questions. I even put out a little mini part 2 specifically on bamboo batting. So you can catch that here at the channel. I got more questions about the bamboo batting. I was kind of surprised, but I got a ton of them. And so I did another mini video because I had some bamboo batting coming to me that I had ordered so that I would have some for the year-end Quilt Lab quilt. And so it just showed up at the right time, and I was able to put that out there. So if you want to see that, check that out. It's online now. I think it's called Batting Part 2 Bamboo or something like that. Okay. All righty. Are we ready for the trivia? So I'm not going to have you don't need to put your answers in the comments, okay? You're going to write your answers down. I would put the number, the question number, and then your answer. None of these answers need to be more than a couple words if they need a couple words. Donna, being that you're new, dear, you might know some of this, you might not know some of this. That's okay. It's okay. play along, you might learn some of the terms and stuff we use if you're new to quilting, but you might know these already. So, but please join in all you want. So do a number, do your answer. Once we go through all the questions, we'll go through the answers, and then we'll do a tally of points because each question is worth a different amount of points, okay? And this is kind of, I thought we'd do this trivia as our kind of celebration party for reaching that 500,000 subscribers because we can't actually get together and do it together. In fact, stop, Diana, stop. Before we do the trivia, I have to show you the block. It's block time, guys. Gosh, my head is just going, sorry. Had to start a fire today in the fireplace. I must have inhaled smoke or something. I almost forgot. So are you ready to see it? I know a lot of you have seen it. Some of you have already gotten it. Here is our celebration cake block. Now I was going to do it in 2 sizes because I think I mentioned that, but I just decided that this one size was the size that everyone could make. So I just did it in the one size. Okay. Let me talk to you about it. And then I want to tell you a little bit about the video that comes with the pattern because I did a few extra little things in there for you. So here we are. This is basically a 4-row quilt block. Very simple to do, very easy to do. And the main pieces, these layers, your top layers, your middle layers, and your bottom layers are basically the split rail block. If you have one of our basic sets, you will know what a split rail is. And I'm not telling you because there's a question about it in the trivia. But in the video, the very first demonstration is how to create a split rail block. At the end of it, it says, and now we're going to go on to making our diamond in a square. Please disregard that. There's no diamond in a square video, okay? I took that piece from that basic set, and the diamond in a square was the next demo. I hadn't learned like not to do that yet, so I could interchange them. Learning, right? Learning. So there is no diamond in a square video. After the split rail video, which will be great for you, Donna, because a split rail is one of the easiest blocks you can make, one of the easiest pieces you can make. Then there are little segments on how you do this in 3 hoopings. So we all know that we use the 5x7 hoop. If you use this hoop and you don't use a bigger one, and those that you like to use your bigger hoops, you knock yourselves out and go for it. You might be able to, if you've got a big enough hoop, you could probably, I think, do the whole thing in 1 hooping. But with the 5x7 hoop, 3 hoopings, and each part of the segment goes through those hoopings, all right? And they're not by row. They're what fits properly in each hooping so that you can get it all done in 3 hoopings. So you'll have all of that. And then there is the layout portion of the video, how this block gets laid out and comes together. And then, of course, in your pattern, you've got the layout diagram, okay? So that goes with the layout portion of the video. When we talk about the fabric and all, there is a fabric portion of the pattern, and there is a fabric cut sheet. This tells you exactly what to cut. And the colors are just lettered because you can make this little block with any colors you want. I used all Kimberbell. I have a big bucket of Kimberbell, what I call scraps. So they're all like a fat 1/8 or less. And so I have so many of them that I just went in and picked the colors I wanted. And it ended up being the whole thing is done in Kimberbell. But you can do it in any scraps you want, any curated fabric collection that you want, anything at all. My white is an actual tone-on-tone white. That's a Kimberbell white. It's the doodle print. It's just like this orange one here, but it's in, there we go. It's in white. And so that's what I use for the background. Don't be afraid to use color on color like that for your backgrounds. They add a little texture, a little something to a cake. T is making a Tula cake, apparently. No kidding. What a big surprise. Good. I can't wait to see it. T, it's going to be great. I absolutely know it. And so don't be afraid to use color on color backgrounds. They can, because as you can see, it's all white. But as you look at it, is it here? Yeah, here you can see the little bit of the design. It adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of something special to your overall block. In fact, a background that is color on color like that, whether it's white or any other color that is appropriate for the quilt you're making, can really add a very special look to your quilt, because like I said, it just gives it a little more life than the flat. You guys know I'm not a big solid color quilter. I do use solid colors, but look behind me. You sure don't see many, right? You see a lot of print. You see a lot of small print on print that reads as solid. We call print that reads as solid, like this one right here, this tufted one. Because it gives your quilt more life, more movement too. So if you want your eye to really kind of glide over a quilt, if you want to cover up what you consider to be an oopsie, color on color like that works beautifully. You'll never find an oopsie in a quilt that's color on color, because your eye just won't focus in on it. It won't find it. There's too much other pattern and stuff for your eye to move to. All right, so this is our little block, this celebration quilt. And so this is the little bow. You can do this bow in 5 different colors. So I think I did it in 5 colors here on the diagram. What I did in my actual one was I did white, and then I did 2 of the same color and 2 of the same color, but you can make that bow any color that you want. Okay. And at the end, I will remind you of the website where you can get this if you haven't gotten it already. And again, if you have any questions, you guys know you can contact me, but that is my small little thank you to all of you for all of your support in helping to create such a great community here at Build a Quilt. All right. Now let's do our trivia. I don't want to run out of time for trivia because I spent a whole cup of coffee making up these questions for you guys. All right, are you ready? Get your paper and pen ready. Question number 1, Build a Quilt trivia. This is the very first Build a Quilt trivia I think I've ever done. So this is kind of special, right? Build a Quilt trivia. You're very welcome, T. Are you a member of Quilt Lab? Yes or no? Either yes or no. That's all you have to answer. Nothing else. Just, are you a member of Quilt Lab? Yes or no? If you don't know what Quilt Lab is, you'll know when we do the answer. Number 2, what is a Build a Quilt segment? What is a Build a Quilt segment? It's only like a 2-word answer, or 3 at the most. What is a Build a Quilt segment? Number 3. This is a good one. You guys should get this one easy. What is the preferred stabilizer for making patchwork in the hoop with Build a Quilt? What is the preferred stabilizer when we do patchwork in the hoop? I'll give you a second there. I'll even show you the back here. That might help you. What is the preferred stabilizer? Okay. Question number 4. Should you use a 1/4-inch foot when stitching your pieces to get your Build a Quilt block together on the sewing machine? Should you use a 1/4-inch foot? Yes or no? That's all you need to put, yes or no. Give you a second to think about that one. Number 5. Name 2 segments from our Build a Quilt Basics Set 1. There are 3 segments in that set. Name 2 of them. Can you do that? I bet you can. I bet some of you could name all 3 of them. In set 1, name 2 of them. Give you a second to write that down. Okay. Let's look at this little block. I don't need to know a number like single, a double, a triple, anything like that. In general, what is this type of block called? That's question number 6. What is this type of block called? I'll take that away. Okay. I've got lots of little visuals for this. Now here we go. Here's our next 2 visuals. These are probably 2 of the most often used blocks from the website, these 2. Are these blocks, or do these blocks belong to the same family of blocks? Do they? Yes. Don't they? No. Yes, no. Do they belong to the same block family? Okay. Am I giving you enough time? If not, somebody let me know. I don't want to rush you. Question number 8. This block right here, what's that called? What's the name of that block? What is the name of that block? And I will tell you that we called it something specific in the pattern, but that block can have more than one name. Okay. But what is it? What would you call that? Okay. Here we go. 2 to show you 2 examples. Question number 9. What type of piecing technique is used to make these 2 pieces? What type of piecing technique is used for these 2 pieces? The flying geese unit and friendship block, that's what they are. Flying geese, friendship block, or snowball block. But what is the piecing technique that we've used for these 2 specifically? They're fairly new, so I bet a bunch of you know that pretty easily. Okay. Question 10. Name 2 of the segments in the Build-A-Quilt Basics 2 set. So we have Basics 1 and Basic 2. They're now a combo set. So if you have the combo, it's the second half of the combo set. So name 2 of them. There are 3 again, but name 2 of them. Okay. We're about halfway done with the questions. Here's another block to look at. What is the name of this block? This is an oldie but a goodie. This is a very traditional quilt block. Do you know what it's called? Get the string off of it. Do you know what that's called? That is question number 11. Okay. Question number 12. This block is called Vintage Delight. When did we create it this year? For what reason did we create this? Do you remember? Write that down for question 12. When and why did we create this? Now, question number 13 goes with this as well. Do you remember who the designer of this block was? That should give you a hint as to when and why we made it. Do you remember who the designer was? That's question 13. Okay. All righty. If you guys don't get this one, come on now. Question 14. Who is Diana? That's me. Who is Diana's favorite fabric designer? Do you remember? Who is my very favorite? That one should be pretty simple. Okay. Question 15. What type of blocks are these? They're both a little different. This is a pyramid and this is a traditional. But what is that kind of piecing called? It can have a couple of names, so whatever you know it as is fine. What's that called? Okay. Now, do you guys remember this? Some of you that have been with us for a while will. What does this, so we have the new celebration cake block to commemorate our 500,000 plus subscribers. The Celebrate with Sprinkles block, and remember when you put this together, it's all of this is background, and then you have all these sprinkles. It looks like a big confetti. What did this block commemorate? Don't have to know when we did it, but what did that block commemorate? That is question number 16. We're almost done. Just a few more questions, then we'll do answers. Okay, I have another one. Now, this one kind of is a little bit like the bow in our new block. This block, Starbursts, I think it's supposed to be Starbursts, and then that's what it looks like if you put two of them together. What did this commemorate? This was another free block for celebration, and it commemorated something. Do you remember what it commemorated? You do, write that down. That's your answer for number 17. Okay, now 18 should be easy because we've already talked about it tonight. What is the hoop size? What is the minimum hoop size that you must have in order to create with Build-A-Quilt? What is the quilts? What is the hoop size? I always say you have to have at least this size to be able to do Build-A-Quilt. What is that hoop size? T, you're saying something's pretty, but I'm not sure which block you were talking about, dear. Are you talking about that one? The Sunburst? Maybe that's the one you were talking about. All right. Number 19. Oh, okay. Here's a big one. Starburst. Yeah, that's the Starburst. Okay. This is a big question, but if you've been with us on some Wednesday nights recently, or if you've been part of Quilt Lab, you should be able to get this one. Name as many of the 5 blocks that, no, let me start again. Name as many of the Quilt Lab blocks, of which there are 5 that we're using, that we're going to use for the year-end quilt. Name as many of them as you can. Okay. There's 5 of them, so you could name all 5. Maybe you can only name 2 or 1 or 4 or 3, whatever. Name as many of the 5 Quilt Lab blocks as you can that we are going to be using in the year-end quilt. And if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, I showed you the general diagram of the quilt, and I told you about those 5 blocks. All righty. And this is our last question. And it's kind of a 2-parter, okay? Part 1, what is Diana? That's me. What is Diana's favorite piecing thread? Your piecing thread is what you use in your embroidery machine to piece all of your blocks together. What is my favorite? What color is my favorite? Let me be specific. What color is my favorite? Then the second part of that question is, do you know the brand and or the brand number that I prefer? Because I've told you lots of times. You may know because you may now use it too, or you may not know. You just may know the color, and that's fine. There's points for just knowing the number. That extra is kind of like a super hard bonus one, I thought anyway. All right, that was our last question. That was question 20. Now, in the comments, please let me know if you need me to reread any of the questions. Just put the question number in your comment and hit go, and I will reread any of the questions that you need me to read, okay? Before we start doing answers. And we have 3 prizes tonight for this game, right? So we're going to have a first, a second, and a third place, depending on how many points you get at the end. And this is all on the honor system, which I don't have to tell you guys that, but I just say it just so everybody knows, right? For you to add up your own points because we're not in the room together eating cake. Wouldn't it be great if we were in the room eating cake together? I would love it. Anybody need any questions answered or reread? Sorry, reread. Tula cake. I think that's great. Yep. Nope. Looks like everybody has got the questions. Okay. Are you ready for the answers? All right. Question number 1. Are you a Quilt Lab member? Yes or no? So if you said yes, give yourself 2 points. If you said no, give yourself 1 point. So you get some points either way. But what is Quilt Lab for those of you that are new? Quilt Lab is our monthly block. It is a subscription, or you can buy Quilt Lab blocks singly, but with the subscription, you get some extra free blocks and videos and things like that. But it is a monthly block. We always have a Wednesday night that is dedicated to Quilt Lab at the beginning of each month when we talk about the Quilt Lab block of the month. This is this month's Quilt Lab block, and I'm not going to say the name because it's a question later. And the block always comes in 3 sizes. Like this year, I've tried to make sure that we got most of them in a 10 by 10 size because 10 by 10 sizes are the block sizes we're using for the year-end quilt. Okay, so are you a Quilt Lab subscriber? So if you are a subscriber, you also get quarterly, you get an exclusive block pattern that won't go out to the public for not the coming year, but so 2 years after it comes out for you guys, then it will go out to public. I think that's how I planned on doing that. You get some extra videos, you get some extra patterns, extra info sheets, things like that aren't just available for everyone. So you get a lot of extras. And of course, everybody has my help whenever they need it. But you have my help, we can get together, all that kind of stuff. So Quilt Lab is a kind of our block of the month, you could call it, that kind of an idea. So if you are a member, 2 points for yes, 1 point for no. Question number 2. What is a Build-A-Quilt segment? This is a Build-A-Quilt segment. This is a Build-A-Quilt segment. This is a Build-A-Quilt segment. This is a half square triangle, the most often used segment in all of quilting. We call them segments, but they're basically, you could call them sub blocks. They're the blocks that make up the bigger blocks. That's what the segment is. So you could say the small blocks that make up the big blocks. You could say the pieces that make up the bigger blocks. You could name some segments, anything like that. Give yourself a point. Okay. If you knew that these are called segments, give yourself 1 point. This is kind of a segment because it can be used to make something bigger. Okay. That kind of thing. Number 3, what is the preferred stabilizer for Build-A-Quilt? If you said wash away, the kind of wash away that we use for freestanding lace and machine embroidery, that is the preferred stabilizer because when your quilt top gets washed, either by the block and then you piece the whole thing together or by the quilt, all of this washes away. So when you're done, you have your quilt top, your batting, and your backing, just like any other quilt made with any other technique. So we prefer, and we have 2 videos out there on YouTube that you should watch if you haven't already on why wash away stabilizer, because I did some experiments to figure out. Now, there also are some alternatives. You could use a poly mesh stabilizer, but that's going to stay in. So you're going to get more thickness. You're going to get more bulk in your seams. That's why, again, with this, no bulk and no bulk in your seams and no extra bulk in the quilt. And if you're somebody who really wants an all natural fiber scenario, a very lightweight muslin fabric, cotton muslin works as well. Again, that's something that stays in your quilt. Now, if you're making a quilt for the winter and you want it really warm, because you live someplace where it gets super cold, you might not want this in Texas, but in Maine or here in northeastern Illinois, we could use those. That's kind of stabilizer that stays in will give a little extra warmth. But the wash away stabilizer, if you said wash away, give yourself 1 point. 1 point. Okay. Question number 4. Should you use a 1/4 inch foot when stitching your segments together to create your blocks? Should you? If you said yes, 0 points. You don't have to take anything away, but you don't get no points. If you said no, you get 2 points, because on all of our segment pieces, I'm trying to find one that's going to be easier for you to see. Here we go. They all have, the very last thing we do is stitch all the way around. And then when we cut it out of our stabilizer, you have that 1/4 inch. And on the back, you have, this is marker, but you have that line. And as long as you stitch down that line, you're going to get the perfect seam every time. So a 1/4 inch foot might throw your seaming off. So I do not ever recommend it. Use a 1/4 inch foot with Build-A-Quilt. It's not necessary and it can throw you off. So if you said no, you get 2 points. Okay. Number 5. Name 2 segments in the Build-A-Quilt Basics Set 1. This is Build-A-Quilt's Basic Set 1, or it's the first half of what we now call the Build-A-Quilt Combo Basics. The half square triangle, the square, and the 1/4 square triangle. So if you said any of those 2, you get 2 points. Okay, so you could have said the square and the half square. You could have said the half square and the 1/4 square, the square and the 1/4 square, whatever. Any of those 2, and you will get 2 points. The basic sets, which is now the combo, gives you all these segments in multiple sizes so that you can take patterns that are available for quilters who quilt in a different way and create your versions of them. Okay. And in the coming year, in 2025, we are going to be using this combo set a lot. We're going to be using it in our free mini courses. We're going to be using it for some of the quilts we do. So if you don't have this, it's really a good idea to tell Santa you want the Build-A-Quilt combo set. And you're going to see in a couple of minutes what comes in the second half of it, or what we used to call the Basics 2 set. But if you named any of those 2 I just showed you, give yourself 2 points. Now, our next question was, let me get it. What is this called? This segment is called a modified half square triangle. This one is a 4 modified, because it's modified. So here's your half square triangle, right down the middle, half and half. But on this half, it's modified 4 times. Okay, so it is a mod. All you have to know is that it is a type of modified half square triangle. And if you know that and you got it right, you get 3 points. 3 points for that one. Okay. Our next question was, let me grab the samples. Do these 2 blocks belong to the same family? They do. Yes, the answer is yes. So this, this is our log cabin, one of the most popular blocks that gets people involved in quilting. And this is called the courthouse steps. This is a variation of a log cabin. They belong to the same family. If you said yes, they belong to the same family, give yourself 1 point. Let me make sure I've got that right. Yeah, give yourself 1 point if you said yes, these belong to the same family of blocks. Okay. The courthouse steps is a variation. That's what we call those, variations. Okay, so here we go. What is this block called? This is our block of the month for the month of October. It's a very simple block. It's a very basic star block. It's called an 8-point star. Get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very easy to make. It's made with 4 squares, 4 flying geese units, and 1 large square in the middle. Now, you might also know this as an Ohio star. You might also know this as, not Ohio, sawtooth star. If you said sawtooth star, give yourself the points as well. But if you got it right, if you said 8-point, any of that, 2 points. 2 points for that one, okay? 2 points. Alrighty. So for question number 9, for the flying geese unit and the friendship snowball block, I asked you what type of piecing this is. What type of piecing is this? This is called mosaic piecing. I love these. These are some of our segment singles, and they are great for scrap fabric, and boy, do they add color and variety to your quilts. So anywhere you're going to use a flying geese unit, if it's this size, this is a 5-inch, then you can use this block instead of a regular. So that's a regular flying geese unit. I could make my whole piece with mosaic flying geese units instead of the solid ones. And look at all the different color and stuff I would get, all the variation, because no single unit is going to be exactly like any, even if you use all the same colors and the same scraps of fabric, they'll never all look exactly alike. Full how-to video and all with this and how to do it. It's a very simple way to do it, but these are called mosaics, and if you got that right, give yourself 2 points. 2 points if you knew those were mosaics. All right, now here we are at the question 10. Name 2 segments from Build a Quilt Basics 2 or from the second half of the combo set. So this is Basics 2 or the second half of the combo set, where you get the split rail. So that's the video that you're going to see first when you're the demo video when you're making our new celebration cake block. It's to kind of show you how these layers get made, because all of these are in and of themselves split rails, meaning you make these together in sets of 2. The nice thing about a split rail block, though, is if you just need a rectangle, you can just do half of it and have a perfect rectangle. These come in multiple sizes as well. You get the split rail, the flying geese, and the diamond in a square, a very useful block. This block is oftentimes used in an 8-point star as the centerpiece to kind of add some variety and a different look to the blocks. So if you named any 2 of these 3, the split rail, the flying geese, or the diamond in a square, give yourself 2 points. 2 points, okay? So in our combo set, you're going to be getting all 6. You're going to be getting these 3, the half square, square, and quarter square, and the split rail, flying geese unit, and diamond in a square. It is our basics combo set. It's available over at the website, and you will need it for a lot of the things we're doing in 2025, okay? So I will tell you, there is not a coupon available right now, but there will be a coupon again before the holidays, which would help you take a little bit percentage off on this, because this is probably one of our more higher priced sets. I think this whole set is $60. So, which is a great price because you can make literally hundreds of quilts with just this set. You can make the quilts you see in the stores, all that kind of thing. And one of the mini courses that we have coming in 2025 is the full translation of a quilt pattern that isn't my pattern. It's one that I'm going to find and bring in, and we're going to do the whole thing in that mini course, translate it from soup to nuts using these pieces. So you're going to need it for those kinds of things in 2025 coming up. So that is the basics set. All righty, now question number 11, and I'm trying to get us moving and along here. Name, I thought we'd be done early. Name this block. Churn dash. This is the very traditional churn dash. If you got that right, it is 1 point. Okay, 1 point. When and why did we make the Vintage Delight block? Do you guys remember when this came up? This was part of this year's Riley Blake Block Challenge. I took all of their blocks, translated them into Build-A-Quilt for us, and we created these. That whole set is still available over at the website, and there's no charge for it. Hi, Kathy. So glad you made it, dear. So glad that you're here. If you haven't already, Kathy, remember tonight, the new free block is available, the celebration cake. This is all about celebrating. We're going through the answers to the trivia that we've been doing. So Vintage Delight was created as part of the Riley Blake Block Challenge, and Lori Holt was the designer of this block. So if you got Vintage Delight Riley Blake Block Challenge, that's 2 points. If you knew that the designer was Lori Holt, you get 1 more point. Okay. Question 14. Who is my favorite fabric designer? Come on, you guys. I know you know it. It's Tula. Tula Pink. I love her. I love her stuff. You can even see I have a box back here. So Tula. So if you said Tula, you get 1 point. Okay. That was a 1 point answer, Tula. Number 15, let's see. Let me get my little pieces. What style of quilting or piecing are these blocks? What are these? These are called string pieced or strip pieced. T, our good friend T with us, she just is making that beautiful lap quilt with the string piecing. Go look at last week's live if you haven't, and you will see hers made with a traditional string pieced block. So these are string pieced. If you got that, then you get 1 point. Okay, celebrate with sprinkles. T, you're a funny lady. Oh, you're a funny lady. Yes, you thought it was Kimberly Bell. I do like Kim. I love Kim Christopherson. I mean, I truly love her as a sister. She's amazing, and I do love her fabric, but you know that Tula is my all-time favorite. All righty, so what was Celebrate with Sprinkles for? Well, tonight we're celebrating 500,000 subscribers. This was the free block I gave out when we celebrated 100,000, and that was a huge, huge deal. That's also when YouTube sent us our plaque. That's your plaque. I leave it there always so you guys can see it. And so if you got that, because that one was kind of, you had to be with us for a while. If you got that, it was worth 5 points. Okay. Number 17. When did this little segment block come out? The Starburst. This is actually called 10,000 Starbursts. It was the free piece when we commemorated getting all the way to 10,000 subscribers, which I never thought, once we got there, I never thought Build-A-Quilt would grow more than that. I was happy to be like at 5. And when it reached 10, I think I cried for a week over that. When we reached the 100,000, I was just done in. So you guys know the fact that we are at over 500,000 subscribers on this channel. I'm not going to say anymore because I'm going to start crying. So if you get the 10,000, that it was to celebrate 10,000 subscribers, 5 points. Number 18, what is the hoop size that we use for Build-A-Quilt? What's the one you've got to have? Unless you want to use something bigger, you only need a 5x7. So your answer is 5x7, and that is 1 point. Can you name the 5 blocks that we are going to use for the year-end quilt, the Quilt Lab quilt? Well, you guys, I gave you a really big hint because they're all right there. The Blooming Star, the Flower Basket, the Inside Out block, the Points Home, and this one's kind of hard to see, but this is the Diamond in a Cross block. Those are the 5 that we're going to be using. Blooming Star, Flower Basket, Inside Out, Points Home, and Diamond in a Cross. So if you got all 5, you get 10 points. 10. So 10 points if you got all 5. If you were able to name 3 of them, you get 5 points. And if you were able to name 2 of them, you get 1 point. Okay. So 10 points for all, 5 points for 3, and 2 points or 1 point for 2 of them. Okay. Now here's our last question. And this one was a little bit tricky, but I bet some of you still got it. What is my favorite piecing thread color? It is pearl gray. That's right, pearl gray. Why? Because you can't see it. If when you're putting these together, you get a little sloppy about following that line, and I do it. I mean, we all do it, right? You can't see it. Once it's quilted, you can't see that thread. It's just like, it's almost like stitching with a clear monofilament, which you'd never do, but it's almost like that. You just can't see it. And so pearl gray is my favorite. If you got that, you get 1 point. If you were able to answer the bonus question, which is the brand and the color number, which I truly prefer, there are lots of brands that have this color, this general light, super light gray color. Any of them work well, but my favorite brand is Isacord, and the number is 0184. If you got Isacord or 0184, give yourself 5 more points, because that one you had to maybe think back a while and be with us for a while. But I do give you that information throughout the year. So if you knew that one, you guys know more about me than you probably should. Alrighty. Is dove gray the same? Yes, Ruth, dove gray would be exactly the same, dear. That's exactly right. If you said light gray or dove gray or pearl gray or some sort of a gray color, give yourself the point for it for sure, right? We're not going to be picky about that. But if you know the number or that it's Isacord, so either that you knew that it was Isacord is my favorite brand for it, give yourself those 5 points. If you knew the number, give yourself those 5 points, anything like that. All righty. So let's go down. And now I need you to, wow, I missed this love trivia. Kathy, I'm so sorry that you missed, dear, but we're glad that you're here. And you know what? If you guys like trivia, we'll do them on a Wednesday from time to time. I did the trivia tonight because we were celebrating and I wanted to kind of have that party atmosphere. But if you guys like doing a little trivia now and again, let me know. If you love it, we'll do it. Now, I mean, we won't do it once a month maybe, but maybe every couple of months we'll do a trivia night. I think that would be great fun. Why not? We don't always have to do the actual nuts and bolts of the quilting, right? So let me know. I'm more than happy to do it. All right. So there is a total. If you got all the points you could possibly get, you could get 52 points. Okay. Let me know if you got between 47 and 52. Put your number in the comments if you got what that total was. If you got between 47 and 52 points. Okay. Because this is how we're going to know who our winners are. 47 to 52. If you got 40 to 46, let me know. Nobody got that many points? I'm surprised. Maybe these were too hard. If you got 40 to 46, put your name in and put your total in. If you got 35 to 39, anybody get 35 to 39? Maybe I should have given you a chance to count up yet. You still need to count up? Sorry. 35 to 39. How about 25 to 35? Anybody in the 25 to 35? Unbelievable. I had 2 phone calls since the quiz started. So I have to. Oh, Sharon, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. T, you got 35. Ruth, you got 37. Okay. Does anybody have higher than 37? Okay. Does anybody have 0 to, what were we up to 25? 0 to 25 points. So if you got 0 points, put your number in there, Sharon. You got 0 points, put your number in there, my friend. 0 to 20 points. Kathy gets here. There you go, Kathy. See? You could win a prize. Okie dokie. Anybody else? Anybody else? All righty. So, Ruth. Ruth, you have 37. T, you have 35. Sharon and Kathy 0. Okay, bless your hearts. So sorry, ladies. All righty. So the winner is going to be Ruth. Ruth, your prize will come to you the 1st of February 2025 because you are getting a free Quilt Lab subscription for the 2025 through January of 2026 year. We always run from February through January. And Ruth, you are getting a free subscription. Congratulations. And thank you so much for playing Build a Quilt Trivia. So congratulate Ruth. Very good. And T, you are our second winner. And you are getting a charm pack called Vintage Holiday by Bonnie and Camille. It is a Moda product. If you can, T, please email me your address so I have that other thing for you, T, as well. Let me know in the email if it's okay to go ahead and send to you now because of the storm and all, and I'll send them both together. But T, you're getting this beautiful Vintage Holiday charm pack from Moda. And look, these are some of the fabrics. They're really pretty. If you like those bright Tula colors and all, these aren't quite Tula. They're more Christmassy, but they're very nice. So, and these as a 5x5 charm, you can do a lot with this if you have the basic set because you can use some of the smaller ones. So congratulations to T. I'm going to just put your name on the label here. Mail is good now. Great, because I've got that other thing for you. Sitting right here in an envelope. I will get those out in the mail to you now. So please send me your email, not your email, your address at the support@sewuncommon.com, and I'll get those out to you. So T was our second winner, and Sharon and Kathy, since you both came in third, I just, bless your hearts. But you're both going to get a prize. You're both going to get a free spool of my favorite thread, the gray 0184 from Isacord. I'll tell you how to give me your address here in just a moment. But Kathy Johnson and Ruth Jones, you're both going to get a spool of that, okay? All righty, we're just a couple minutes over. We still have our question of the week. Let me put it up. Congratulations to our winners. Thank you so much for playing, ladies. That was fun. Question of the week. What has been your favorite Build-A-Quilt block or project this year? Okay. Go ahead and put your answer in the comments, and then we'll roll the window. You're very welcome, Kathy. You're very welcome. My pleasure, truly. So what has been your favorite Build-A-Quilt block or project this year? Was it the Inside Out block? Oh, that's a great one. That's this one right here. That's going in the quilt. That's going in our quilt. And I will tell you, I'm still in the process of writing it, but I'm not going to rush us. As soon as it's done, I'll send it out, or I'll put out the information, and then I'm going to give us a couple of weeks before we start it so that you can all get fabric, okay? I'm not going to rush us into doing that. So what has been your favorite blocker project? Was it the Riley Blake quilt this year? I know thousands of you have done that quilt, which kind of blows me away that so many of you did it. That's how a lot of people became subscribers too, is through that Riley Blake. And if Riley Blake does another one next year, I will consider doing it again. We've got so much of our own stuff going now. I don't know. I'll have to look at the blocks and kind of see if I'm going to be able to, but we'll give it a try. String piecing, because you only made 143. Yes, T has made so many. She made 143 of the string piecing blocks to make that beautiful quilt. I can't wait to see it finished. And so that's been her favorite block, obviously. Very good, T. Anybody else want to chime in with an answer? Anybody? Because I don't want to keep us anymore. You enjoyed the Riley Blake, but you haven't sewn the top together yet. Oh, thanks to, yes, to Hurricane Helene. Such a gal, isn't she? Yeah. The only one you've completed, Diamonds and Stars. Very nice, very nice. And yours turned out beautifully too, Ruth. I'm so glad. The Diamonds and Star, which was on my first Build-A-Quilt. Should have finished pictures by next week. Awesome. That's great, T. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. All right. Anybody else have a want to do it? All right, because I don't want to keep us anymore. We're 5 minutes past. So let me spin. And our winner is Kathy Johnson. Kathy, congratulations, dear. You are also going to win a charm pack. It's called Holly Wishes. It is also by Moda. This is by, hang on. I want to say it's Kansas Troubles, but I need my magnifiers. Yes, Kansas Troubles Quilts. I love the woman who is Kansas Troubles. She came and did a class for me here several years ago when I scheduled classes for the Guild. And we got to be good friends. And I love her to pieces. And this is that set. So these are much darker colors, but they're beautiful. So Kathy, this is going to you along with the thread. So you're getting both of those tonight. Okay. All righty. So if you were one of the winners, please send your physical address to me at support@sewuncommon.com. I don't keep it, so I need you to email that to me. I will get all of these ready and they will go out in the mail on Friday when I have to run errands and things, and all on Friday. I'll take them all to the post office on Friday. So congratulations to all of our winners. If you want to contact me about anything here at Build-A-Quilt, you can send me an email at support@sewuncommon, but you can always leave them your comments in the comment section and I'll get those as well. The website where you can get the new free block, where'd it go? Where's my block? The celebration cake or any of our other blocks, our sets, anything is at mybuildaquilt.com. Okay. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, become part of the community. We have a new person with us tonight, Donna, I believe. That's how this community has grown, and we're so thrilled to have you all. Please like and share. That's how people find out about us as well. You're welcome, Kathy. I have shared it. Ruth, I don't want you to think like that, Ruth. It doesn't look horrible. It'll be beautiful. And you're going to judge it way harsher than any of us will. Please send me pictures. I know it will be beautiful. Trust me. It will be. Share it anyway. That's right, Kathy. Share it anyway. We're always our own worst critics. You're binding your diamonds and stars right now. Yes. See, share it, Ruth. Seriously. It'll be beautiful. It will be. It absolutely will be. It is art. Art is subjective, but truly in quilting, I have never seen a quilt I didn't love for some reason. Never. So please send it, share it. Share your picture with me, please. And if you don't want me to show it, I won't. But please share it with me. I'd love to see it. Seriously. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we have any gentlemen with us tonight, thank you so much for being with me tonight. I hope you had fun. I had fun. If you like doing trivia, we'll do it occasionally for sure. And don't forget to go grab your block. And until next week, everybody, you know it. Go quilt life beautiful. Bye for now.